Hey everyone, welcome to the RotoGrinders Morning Grind podcast. I'm your host, Stevietpfl. It is Monday. It's September 18th. It is 2023. We have a 8-game baseball slate to talk about here. Last couple weeks of baseball season is upon us. Standings matter, games matter, and hanging out with my good buddy Will Priester matters. Chief, hope you had a fantastic weekend. How are you, my friend?
I had an okay weekend. Just glad to be here, man, and come on with you and talk about what's coming down the pipe here. Playoff baseball will be here pretty soon, and I need my Atlanta Braves to not cool off. I need them to stay hot as we continue to try to push and get ready for this playoff run. They just took a spanking today, so I am hoping that that's not anything in our future. We need to stay in a groove and win games.
Yeah, I mean, listen, as a Braves fan, just be happy, okay? Your team is so set up for the next few years. Just be happy, all right?
Listen, I am.
I mean, they have clinched the division. They are still trying to beat the Dodgers for best overall record in the NL. I think, they're still up on Baltimore as well. It's so crazy how the American League is because like Minnesota right now is leading the division and Tampa has 13 more wins than them and they're in the wild card. So
it's a different
wild
animal over here right now.
It's wild. I mean, the Yankees, the Red Sox, they both would be in contention in that division, and just the AL East is just so strong that there's just no touch in that division right now. It's crazy. So we'll be talking about standings. I feel like we'll be talking more standings next week than this week, but it's definitely something to kind of note. We know there's a football game going. What's up, YouTube? Hope you're all having a fantastic Sunday night. I'm a Dolphins fan. Everyone that knows me knows that I'm a Dolphins fan. So there's 100% chance that my TV is on right now and I'm watching my Fins. I forgot to tell you this pre-show, but I have a 7-team parlay, 7, not 17, 7-team parlay that just needs the Dolphins to win by 2.5. Got a little bonus.
Who did you take? Who did you take?
I got a little bonus bet. I'll pull it up here in a second. I forget, but
yeah,
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew I had the Giants money line. And
Ooh, what a sweat.
I thought it was dead. Listen, I always do crazy things when I get those like bonus bets. And I was in Tennessee this weekend for the race, and I had like 6 or 7 bonus bets sitting in my account from when we were in Nashville for the Super Bowl. So,
oh man, that was good times.
It was good times, man.
Oh boy, I enjoyed.
I was telling you pre-show. We had so much fun college basketball live betting.
Ooh,
that
people don't even know how crazy it was for us.
I hammered Colorado 3 times live last night during that game. -3.5, -1.5, and plus 3.5. So I ran really good in that one. They won the coin flip in overtime, and I was like, oh man, if they start with the ball, like I am live for all 3.
Yeah. It was,
that was a great football game. CSU definitely brought it to Colorado last night. So all right, enough moseying around here. I'm looking at that parlay because you asked me. Hold on, it was over in the Colts game. Bills money line, which is a huge one. Giants money line. Baltimore in points. Okay. And then hold on, Dolphins minus 2.5 over in the Detroit game, and Dallas money line. So that was the 7.
Oh yeah, those were all good.
Yeah, so all stuff I liked throughout the week, and nice little. I had a single game parlay in that Seattle Detroit game. They gave me a plus like 60 boost or something for a single game parlay, and I smashed that one. That one wasn't even like there was no sweat in that one. That one was nice. Like Keith and I had talked about that game on our on the podcast for football.
Yeah,
and they boosted the odds to almost 200. It was almost a 200 plus odds boost. So I took the over. I had Goff over passing yards of like 230 alternate line, Geno over a 230 alternate line, and then St. Brown's over, DK over his like 60 alt line, and then David Montgomery over his rushing yards. So that was no sweat. That was a no sweat. Thank you for the extra boost. So,
yeah.
And like if you're sports betting, take advantage of those bonus bets and those boosts when they're right. When they're right, take advantage of those boosts. So all right, 8 baseball games. We have killed 6 minutes here. Hope everyone's having a good time. Listen to us ramble about stuff that doesn't matter about baseball. But we're going to talk baseball. I promise. We get started. White Sox at Nationals. Clevenger add-on facing off against each other here. 9 total in this one. White Sox a 130 favorite. Any interest here in Mike Clevenger?
No. And look, he's been reasonable. And I know Washington's just still not striking out enough for me. I don't know. I don't think Clevenger has the upside I need.
I will say, like, Washington has called up some people, so this lineup is not that same, like, really low strikeout team. Clevenger had a bad game a couple games ago against Detroit, but outside of that, he's pitched really well. So I do think, like, this is a spot you could take shots on Clevenger. He's still, like, fairly priced on DraftKings at 7,600, which I think is important to note. Because like this mid tier, I think is going to be dominated ownership wise by Brian Wu against Oakland. So I think like Clevenger off of Wu or Clevenger paired with Wu and get bats is a viable strategy on the slate. So I think Clevenger's okay. Other side of this game, we got add-on against Chicago. Chicago is a team that definitely strikes out a little bit. He just really hasn't been pitching good. You look at his numbers, his strikeout rate is under 20%, under 17% over the last month. I just don't see a ton of upside even against this White Sox lineup.
Yeah, same here. 5,400. I won't be worried about it. Like he can sit on the shelf.
It's kind of how I feel. Sit on the shelf is how I'm feeling as well. Let's talk White Sox bats. Anything standing out to you here for the White Sox?
I think you just kind of stack them and hope that Adon has a rough game. You got Robert there. You got, Jimenez at 37, Benintendi at 33, who's still a fairly low strikeout bat. Tim Anderson at 3,200. I think this team is cheap enough against a not so good pitcher that I think it's a good stack spot for the White Sox. And knowing how this will go, he'll probably, they'll probably score 0 runs and Adon will have the game of his life. But generally speaking, this is a good spot for them.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when it comes to the White Sox, the Patriots just blocked a field goal. What is happening?
What?
For me, yeah, they just blocked.
Oh, I needed that field goal.
Well, you didn't get it, Will. I'm sorry to tell you. For me on the White Sox, it's probably more of like a mini stack. Vaughn, Eloy, Sheets kind of mini stack here. Sosa, if I need like a cheap second baseman play. But yeah, more of a mini stack here for me on Chicago. The Washington side of things, any interest here in the Washington bats against Clevenger?
Well, not exactly. Washington just doesn't score enough for me, generally speaking. If I fade them, I'm going to be fine most of the time. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, who do you play? Abrams? He's always a guy I think you can play. That's kind of it. Maybe Meneses or Thomas, but I like those guys more against left-handed pitching than I do against right-handed pitching. I mean, Philadelphia at Atlanta is where we go next. We got your Braves with Philadelphia in town, 9 total. Braves a slight 120 favorite here. We got Wright against Wheeler. Any interest here in Zach Wheeler?
Oh man, Wheeler's probably one of the better, or is absolutely one of the better pitchers on this slate. I can't do it against Atlanta, man. Like, we just saw him kind of get lit up against Atlanta. He's about to see him again for the second time in a week. Nothing against Wheeler. I can't do it.
Yeah, even with Acuna potentially out of this lineup still projects as one of the best lineups in baseball. So, yeah, like Ronald Acuna is one of the best hitters in baseball, and when he is out of the lineup, it is definitely a downgrade to this lineup. No one can argue that. Could you fire shots on him if you're building 150 in a large field tournament? Sure, you could. His talent is incredibly high, but I mean, this is a really, really tough spot. Right on the other side of this game, I think Philly's very underrated offense just in general. Wright has been pitching, just below average, I think is the best way to kind of point out Kyle Wright's season. He really hasn't had like a great start. He just struggled against this team not too long ago. Any interest here in Kyle Wright?
Nah, Philly's been a really good team down the stretch here. I can't do it.
You actually have a little bit of interest in the Philly bats today. Again, we're going to talk more next week when it comes to like playoff standings and where everybody's at. But I mean, the Phillies need to win every game right now. They're in a good spot if they keep winning. But yeah, Kyle Wright, hittable to lefties and righties. Yeah, I think this is a spot you target the Phillies as a stack today.
Yeah, I really like the Phillies here against Wright. This should be a good game for hitting for them. You got Castellanos, you got Schwarber, Trey Turner 6,300. Like they're expensive. You got Harper at 59, but like I said, they've been hitting well. So I like this team. This should be a really good spot, and I understand where some of these other guys may come in, like these cheap pitchers that you talked about. This is where, considering the Clevenger play, probably comes into play. Trying to get in a team like this.
Yeah, like Woo Clevenger to stack Philadelphia or Atlanta, I think is something to look at today. Zach Wheeler is an above-average pitcher. Some would put him close to elite, and definitely put him close to like an ace when it comes to current starting pitchers in baseball. Do we have interest in the Braves today against Wheeler?
I think I have interest in the Braves every day, even though they've cooled off a bit, seemingly. Especially probably today, Steve. Like they're less likely to be played today, in my opinion. Even if people look at the box score and see that they lit him up the last game, he's still Zach Wheeler. He's definitely one of the better pitchers on the slate, and I think this is just a spot where people are still going to be a little bit cautious. And so, the Braves have been so good, even without Acuna. Listen, one of their better hitters, but it's still a good lineup top to bottom. So I'm in on the Braves.
Yeah, I mean, they're so expensive that I feel like if you're playing Atlanta, you're either chasing a home run with a power bat, but then you're paying up for an expensive power bat, or you are stacking them and they're so expensive. I feel like that's just kind of where you're at when it comes to when it comes to playing Atlanta, just about any slate. So sorry, I got distracted by Bill Belichick like slamming down his challenge flag. So Bill Belichick is still Bill Belichick, man. He just oh, anyway, moving on. We got Milwaukee at St. Louis, 9 total in this game. The Brew Crew, a -165 favorite here. Peralta and Wainwright battling off against each other here. Did you see it? Yeah, that's the most Bill Belichick thing ever. That was hilarious. Anyway, let's talk Freddie Peralta. He's 11-3. Some people in chat, St. Louis fans, would call the Cardinals gutless. I wouldn't. I can't use that term, but some people in chat, like Derek and those guys that are huge Cardinals fans, call them gutless. What are we doing with Peralta against St. Louis today?
I mean, I think he's in a better spot than Zach Wheeler, and so at 11-3, he might be slightly overpriced, but down the stretch, he's been one of the better strikeout pitchers in baseball. Down the stretch here. St. Louis isn't a high K team top to bottom. They have a couple bats. Basically, what we're going to need from Freddie is he's going to have to get some of the lower strikeout guys like Arenado, Goldie, Tommy Edman. Like those are the guys he's going to have to get once or twice. Get one out of the three or something like that. And I think that's going to help push the strikeout upside. I'm in on Freddie for what it's worth. This isn't the best spot, but like I said, I think it's a better spot than Wheeler. Definitely a better spot than Verlander, who has had some strikeouts down the stretch, but I don't think he's the same Verlander against his Baltimore team. Freddie's probably my top play if I got to spend up for what it's worth.
If I'm paying over $9K for somebody, it's probably Peralta.
Yeah.
I don't think you necessarily have to pay over $9K for somebody today.
Yeah.
We have a lot of pitchers we're going to talk about under $9K that I like. We've already talked about Clevenger.
Well, there's one I think we're both going to agree on.
Yeah, so I think just overall, like, you don't have to, but, I mean, Peralta probably has the highest ceiling on the slate. St. Louis is a team not really playing for anything. Like, if Milwaukee goes in and sweeps, I think they're really close to clinching. I know they kind of have opened the gap a lot now between them and the Cubs. I think it's like 6 games or something. So, I mean, overall, I think Peralta, if you're paying up, he's very much in play today. The other side, Adam Wainwright. One of my buddies does like custom fishing rods and just did a fishing rod for Adam Wainwright.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
super cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. Jacob deGrom asked him to do it for Steven Matz to do it for Adam Wainwright. So I thought it was cool. So Wainwright, we're not playing Wainwright, right?
Oh no. Heavens no.
I mean, Milwaukee bats, man. Like
one of the best spots on the night.
Yeah, like anytime Wainwright's on the mound, like we have to have interest.
Yeah, I mean, I want to load up on Milwaukee. Give me Mike Conner. Give me our boy Adames. Yelich. Hopefully he's in for this game. Like, give me Yelich. Give me this whole team, Stevie. Give me Carlos Santana. This is one of the best spots of the night. I love this team.
Miami just got a pick on Mac Jones, my man. So, well, yeah. I just overall,
they were in field goal range too. Like, Stevie, why do teams do this to me? Field goal block, just man. Oh well.
Yeah, I'm sending you the picture of the fishing rod on.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I don't like to play Adam Wainwright. I think Adam Wainwright had a fantastic career. I think.
Yeah.
But
kudos to St. Louis for, even though he was getting touched up, they're kind of trying to let him finish his career. Like, I don't mind that for a guy that's kind of dedicated himself to an organization. I really don't mind that.
Yeah, listen, play Milwaukee today. Very much in play. You could stack Milwaukee as like a secondary stack or like a 4-4 stack with one of the higher end stacks today. And very much in play. St. Louis, I don't really have a ton of interest in St. Louis. I think if you're going to play them, you'd stack them, but I'm not playing it.
Nope, negative. No St. Louis for me today.
When's the Wainwright post-game concert? Listen, I think, I think he's had a fantastic year, but no, not going to do it. All right, Boston at Texas, facing the Rangers, 8.5 total. Rangers a 165 favorite here. We got Montgomery and Crawford facing off against each other. Any interest here in Cutter Crawford?
No, not against Texas.
Yeah, I mean, Texas still playing for something. I think Boston officially eliminated now. I know it's not like – I think it's officially eliminated. In my head, they're officially eliminated. I don't know if it's officially eliminated yet, but in my head, they're eliminated because they've been playing terrible. So, just terrible, man. I think they won like 2 of their last 10 games or something like that. But anyway, I'm not playing Cutter Crawford today. I think this is a really tough spot for him. Slight interest in Jordan Montgomery. Like, Boston is better against right-handed pitching than they are against left-handed pitching. Now that they're kind of out of it, are we going to see different kind of lineups? So Yeah, I mean, the top half, super solid still. You still got to get around Turner, Duvall, Devers. They're all really good. Raphael should be in the lineup here, but I think Montgomery is okay in large field tournaments.
Yeah, I think that's the way I would describe it. If they get a weird lineup, Stevie, I think Montgomery's a lineup play for me. If we get anything close to normal, I'm not as interested. Like, I don't have anything against Montgomery, but man, I wish he just had more strikeout upside. In a general sense, he's got it in matchups against bad teams, but against good teams, I just don't feel like he has the ultimate. He's not the ultimate upside play, so he's going to be very lineup dependent for me. But I'm more than likely going to take the fade on him.
Yeah, I think if you're playing him, you're just kind of hoping for 6 or 7 clean innings.
Yeah, right.
You're hoping for that type of game out of him today. Boston Bats. I mean, it's kind of 3 or 4 guys that I said. What are your thoughts here on Boston Bats?
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, Duvall is going to be okay. I know Verdugo lefty, but he just doesn't strike out a lot. Devers doesn't strike out a lot. Of course, Turner at 4,700. But yeah, generally speaking, I'm probably not going to be playing too much Boston.
I don't think Verdugo will be in the lineup. For what it's worth, I don't even know if Yoshida will be in the lineup. I think Ref Snyder and Raphael will be in the lineup here with Duvall, Trevor Story. So I mean, like, there's some good righties in this lineup. So if you want to play like a little mini Boston stack, I wouldn't talk you off of it, but it's not my favorite. I do have a ton of interest in Texas today. Like I said, they're still playing for something. Meaningful games this time of the season is definitely something that I am more likely to stack. What are your thoughts on the Texas Bats?
Yeah, definitely one of my favorite spots, man. Give me Seager, give me Simeon, give me Garver. Like, he's been hitting the ball well, generally speaking. I don't mind Lowe. Like, this whole team is definitely one that I think we can get involved with. Cutter Crawford is not someone that I'm afraid of. He's got a little bit of strikeout stuff, but all in all, he's not someone I'm afraid of. I still have some cheap outfielders right now because Adolis Garcia is on the IL. So, these outfielders, Steve, we can really open it up to get us Seager and Simeon. So I like this team a lot.
All right, cruising along here. We got Baltimore at Houston.
Oh, buddy.
Means facing off against Verlander. No total out for this game, but it's going to be very heavily skewed in the Houston side. John Means, man, back in our lives. What are your thoughts here on John Means?
That's going to be a negative. We're not playing any John Means against Houston.
Is this like, I don't like, is he a punt? Like, why is he like, I got to look into this more. Like, why is he back up here? I'm going to have to, but I'm not playing John Means. Are they just giving the bullpen like an extra day? Like, what are we doing with John Means starting?
I mean, he's back. He started his last start. He went 5 innings.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really seen him since what, 2021?
Yeah.
Was he hurt last year?
He was hurt.
Okay, so he got hurt last year. Pitched a little bit in AA and AAA this season. I mean, are they working him in? I don't know. I'm not playing John Means. Really tough spot. Really tough spot today.
I'm not taking any pitchers against Houston right now for what it's worth. So a fringe guy's definitely getting the X button.
I think it's a tough spot for Verlander today.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to fade Verlander today. And again, I typically only make 3 lineups. Baltimore's good. This is a top to bottom. Like, this is a team that comes in as a whole, 185 ISO, 340 WOBA, 22% Ks. Like, this is a tough team to face if you're a right-handed pitcher.
Yeah, and I mean, here's how I know this team has drastically improved, Stevie. Like, they're batting Mullins 5 and 6 now. Like, he's not even leading off anymore. Like, they're just, to me, this is like the Braves coming around the corner. Like a lot of young hitters that look like they're going to be around. Like, they're probably going to sign Rutschman eventually, Mullins, Henderson. Like, they're going to sign a core group of these young guys, and they're ready to take off. They'll probably sign, Mountcastle. They got a good group. I like this team. All that I'm saying, I agree with you. It should be a little bit tougher for Verlander today. I'm expecting him to give up some runs.
Tough spot. Let's talk bats. Baltimore bats against Verlander. I mean, I could chase a home run or two here, like a Henderson, a Rutschman. I don't think I'm stacking Baltimore. Like Verlander is still Verlander, so I think it would just be like I think it'd be more of just chasing a home run or two for Baltimore today. I mean, maybe you could stack them at very low ownership because they do have the upside, and Verlander has been a lot more hittable. What are your thoughts when it comes to Baltimore on the slate?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a sneaky stack. I'm in on playing them. Like Santander's definitely got a shot at a home run. Mullins not as much as these other guys, but I think this team as a whole has too much upside, even against Verlander in Houston, for me to just let them to ignore them. It's an 8-game slate. They should be a little bit lower owned than usual, so I'm in.
Baltimore's still like very much playing for something too. Like the AL East, Baltimore has like they've clinched the playoffs. Like they're in the playoffs, but like the AL East is so close. Like 93 and 92 wins between Baltimore and Tampa. So this is a huge, I wouldn't say it's huge, but this is definitely a series that matters. Like every game matters between Tampa right now. Tampa and Baltimore, every game matters. Even Toronto for that aspect, because Toronto's trying to get the wild card. So Houston bats. I mean, looking at like the minor league stuff for Means, like he still has a little bit of strikeout upside for sure. But I mean, still like giving up a lot of hard contact in the minors. So I think you could stack Houston today for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Houston's been kind of a top stack here recently. Like they're kind of in that Braves category right now. If you just keep piling it on, you're going, just keep stacking them every day. You're going to get some good games out of them. I definitely think it's a good spot for them against Means. You got to pay for them. Almost the whole team is expensive now. Outside of Maldonado, like almost everybody's 4K and above, almost. But I still think this is a prime time matchup for them. I like this spot better than I like Philly for what it's worth.
This is one of the reasons that like the idea of paying down a pitcher today makes sense to me, because we just have so many elite offenses in good spots, and this is just another one that is in that category of being an elite offense in a good spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seattle at Oakland, 7.5 total in this game. Mariners a 172 favorite. We got Sears and Wu facing off against each other. I think Brian Wu is going to be chalky today. 7,200 against Oakland, put up 25 against this team a couple weeks ago. I have a hard time not seeing them be popular or him be popular in this spot.
Yeah, absolutely. 7,200. If I'm going to take a shot on any cheap pitcher, it's definitely probably him, even though on the season he's been much better against righties than lefties. The thing is, Steven, when we look at these cheap guys, I don't need him to score 30 fantasy points. I'll take 20. I'll take 18 at this price. So I'm with you. I'm probably going to eat the chalk with Wu today.
Yeah, I mean, plenty of ways to get different bats today. Plenty of ways to get different with SP2s. So many ways to potentially make your lineup different if you're going to eat the Wu chalk here today. So that was definitely holding. Definitely holding. That's coming back, Mac Jones. You just ran for no reason. Anyway, I love this spot for Wu. I'm definitely willing to eat the chalk. I think there's good pivots if you don't want to eat the chalk or if you don't want to play a lot, like 60, 70% of him. So if you're trying to get double the field of Wu today, you're going to have to play a lot.
Yeah.
JP Sears on the other side of this game. I think Sears is like average to maybe slightly above average pitcher. I've said this a lot. I don't think this is the right spot for him. What are your thoughts?
A lot of strikeouts, but too much power in this team for him. He can't overpower this team.
Yep.
Yeah. I think
that seems to be the problem when it always seems to be the problem, right? Bats, like it's the power guys. It's Julio, it's Cal Riley, it's Oscar Hernandez. That's who I'd be targeting in this spot for.
Yeah, for sure. And Suarez his power has been down this season, but even still, like I'm in on him as well. Yep.
Other side of this game, Oakland bats. I have no interest in Oakland today. I think Woo's a good pitcher. Like Zach Gelov is like he's the guy that I've been playing, but his price now is just to the point where it's really tough to pay that price for him as a one-off. I think if you wanted to take a one-off here, it'd probably be Brent Roker. He would probably be my favorite one-off in this spot.
Yeah, I don't hate that call. But all in all, I think if we fade Oakland, I'm not expecting Woo to get lit up.
All right, moving on.
Here we go.
Colorado at San Diego.
Yes.
No total in this game. Ty Blotch announced as the Colorado pitcher from what I was reading, so I assume that he'll be the starter here. Seems like normal days rest for him. So Michael Walker on the other side of this game. Any interest here in Blotch?
No.
What about Walker? Like I think
yes.
Yeah, like this is a good spot. My concern with Michael Walker is like they're just really not playing for anything anymore. Like, are they going to let him go and throw a lot in this spot? Like, I don't know.
The reason I like him in this spot, Stevie, is I think he can go out and pitch a good game. And that's kind of where, like, I think against this team, he could possibly cruise. And I'm not saying he picks up 10 strikeouts or anything like that. But I think in this spot, he could be through 3 innings and 25 pitches or something. Like, it's possible. And I think he can still pick up some strikeouts as well. Like, Colorado's been dreadful. So I like this spot. This is good. This is good.
Yeah, I mean the matchup is great. The Rockies, one of the worst offenses in baseball pretty much all year. They've just not been good. We've talked about it obviously a lot this year, and I feel like probably a broken record to some people, but just not a good offense. Like 4 or 5 guys in the 25+% strikeout rate against right-handed pitching this season. I think Waka, if he's even remotely on his game, has a really good game here.
Yep.
Colorado bats. Any interest in the Colorado bats here?
Negative. I just can't.
They ain't good. In proper English. The Padres, gosh, I don't want to, but I think the Padres are stackable today. They're expensive. So, like, do I think they're going to outscore Atlanta? Do I think they're going to outscore Houston? Do I think they're going to outscore Philadelphia? I'd probably rank them 4th in that, but, I mean, they have one of the better matchups on this slate.
Yeah, absolutely. I like Waka. I like the bats. They should be able to send Ty Blotch packing, early and often. Like you said, they're expensive, but I think if we're kind of staying in this cheap range for pitcher today, then I think it really opens it up for us. And I've been playing a lot more Campusano when I stack this team now, which opens it up at catcher for me. What's his face? Trent Grisham is still cheap. They got a host of guys that you can play that'll help you balance it out. So I like this team a ton.
Last game, Detroit at LA taking on the Dodgers. 8.5 total in this game. Dodgers a 170 favorite. Eduardo Rodriguez against Lance Lynn. Any interest here in Eduardo Rodriguez?
No.
He's too expensive.
Yep.
Like, if they entice us a little bit with his price, I would maybe consider it, but I think he's too expensive unless the Dodgers lineup is just not good today.
And they did sit, I think, Mookie and Freddie like on Sunday.
Yeah, they'll do that now. Yeah, like they've clinched the division.
Yeah.
If they don't feel like they're going to catch the Braves, like we'll see them do that. They're going to rest guys down the stretch. We'll see. You have to pay attention to the Dodgers lineup basically every day right now. So
yeah.
Lance Lynn.
Listen, as bad as he's pitched recently,
he needs a get right spot. Maybe
this is it.
The spot. Like,
isn't this the spot?
You want it to be the spot.
This has got to be the spot, Stevie. 8,400 too. Like we're getting a price down against the Detroit Tigers. Stevie, he's like in the 8K range. And he's been in the 8K range the last couple of starts. But my point is, this is Detroit. This is the Dodgers. This isn't Atlanta. This isn't Boston. Like, I like Lance Lynn. I'm going to play him just on principle in this spot.
You're like, if he doesn't do it here, when is he going to do it kind of thing. That's how I feel in my head. Like, that
Absolutely.
is like how I'm thinking about this spot. I'm just like, if he doesn't do it here, when's he going to pitch great? So
absolutely.
And they need him to get ramped up before the playoffs. They desperately need him to be pitching well for the playoffs. So
yeah.
Detroit's made some call-ups, and this lineup is not as bad as it was a month ago. But overall, still a lineup that's beatable.
Absolutely. I'm with you 100%.
Detroit bats.
I'm going to fade Detroit today. I'm actually going to trust that Lance Lynn gets the job done. Yep,
I think if you wanted to like take shots on Kerry Carpenter as like a one-off, he is really good against right-handed pitching, and Lance Lynn is really bad against left-handed pitching.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to one-off Kerry Carpenter, I don't hate it. I mean, he's someone that has 20 home runs on the season. He has upside.
Yeah.
Dodgers against Rodriguez. Tougher matchups for the Dodgers today. Rodriguez is like above average pitcher. His strikeouts last season were way down. They're way up this year from last year. Generates a lot more ground balls against lefties. Gives up a lot more hard contact and fly balls against. Oh my God, Tua just threw the worst pick ever. Now I'm sweating the Dolphins game. Sorry, super distracted. That ball, he just underthrew Tyreek Hill by like 20 yards. Sorry, super distracted. Dodgers bats. Rodriguez. If you're going to attack Rodriguez, I would attack him with right-handed hitters.
Yeah. I think that's where I'm at, which Mookie's been hitting well anyway. And they probably will play Taylor in this spot. They'll probably play they'll probably play Rosario, I would think, because of the spot. So we might actually get some righties working for us.
Yep. So maybe like some good like little potentially like, oh, what a defensive play by the Dolphins there. That was so good. Anyway, like maybe a cheap secondary right-handed stack here with, like you said, Taylor Hernandez, Kiki Hernandez, and then like throwing in like a Mookie Betts and like making like that mini stack work.
Yeah, because I mean, you got to think they're going to play those guys today, right? Like, because this is a prime spot to rest an older Peralta, older Hayward, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, I mean, good spot to give those guys. If they hadn't just given like Freddie Peralta the day off, like this would be a spot you could give maybe, or not Peralta, Freeman. I was going to say Freeman. Like, yeah. Maybe you give Freeman back-to-back days because this is a good spot.
Peralta didn't have the day off, so I think he's getting a day off today. I'm going to assume he's out of the lineup. Yeah.
That's what I said. Watch this lineup. Like this lineup could get the point where maybe you take some tournament shots on Rodriguez. So, all right, let's play the morning grind game. Then we'll get out of here, and I'll go tilt the rest of this Dolphins game to hopefully a Dolphins win. Under 8K to get 6 or more strikeouts. We got options today. Who do you got?
Yeah, we do. I still feel like we're going to end up probably on the same person. Give me Wu at 7,200.
I'm going to go Clevenger. Over 8K to score under 15. Who's your bust today?
Give me Verlander.
Oh, you took mine. I was going to say the same thing. Give me Wheeler against the Braves.
Yep.
Over 4K to hit a home run. Who do you got going yard today?
Give me Julio.
I like it. I'm going to go Kyle Schwarber to hit a home run off your boy Wright. Under 4K to get 2 hits. Who's a cheap bat that you like today?
Give me Carlos Santana against Wainwright.
All right. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I definitely don't hate picking on Adam Wainwright, but I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to I'm going to go to a Milwaukee bat here, and I'm trying to decide. I guess, I think he'll be in the lineup. He's been hitting so well recently. Give me Mark Canha. I assume they play Mark Canha today because, he's been so hot. He's been red hot here recently. So give me Mark Canha to get 2 hits today.
Yep, I like it.
Stack to score 6 or more runs. Who do you got?
Give me Houston, man.
I like it. I like it a lot. I'm going to go Philadelphia against your Atlanta Braves. I think that this game matters a lot for Philadelphia, for sure. So I think this is a game where you got to get excited if you're Philadelphia getting Kyle Wright today. So,
yeah.
Will, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Negative, my friend. I'm just glad we were able to come on and talk through this thing. So hopefully everybody has a good slate today.
All right, we're going to get out of here. Hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. 2 Monday night football games on Monday. I know we'll have some content up for that because I have to go do that right now. So if you are a premium subscriber here at RotoGrinders, we will have some premium content focused around the 2-game slate. I know there's some big tournaments on both sites. So just throwing that out there. We'll have some content for that. Baseball, we're still chugging along here for baseball as well. So again, hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. We'll be back tomorrow talking more baseball. Good luck, everyone. We'll see you then.